Everyone, today we are going to continue with another look at the Atomica patch library. This is the final video in the 3 videos that I've released for this library because it is absolutely humongous. There's over 400 patches to play with. If you haven't looked at any of the videos, on day 1 we did a quick walkthrough and playthrough with a bit of a composition just to show what this library can do. In the second video, we had a look at the first half of this library and some of the sound design techniques and some tips and tricks for you to get the most out of this library. And in this third video, we are going to delve a bit more into further on into the library. So without further ado, let's play with some Noisescapes. That's a nice shuttery sound. I'll sustain pedal while I just move back to main. So this is an ambient texture, and the mod wheel adds a bit of wave shaping. And you have to touch. Gives that phaser type crushing sound. As I said in the previous video, mod wheel, it's great to have it mapped to your pedal, if you can do that with your MIDI controller. And as I said before, I am using an EXP2 pedal, just double checking the name of it. And that allows me, frees both hands, allows me to play as well as move the mod wheel. Now that's an interesting effect, because I think if we go to the effects, we might find auto pan is on. Yep, there we go. Let's do one more from this section. So the orb is taking care of a lot of the sound here, and it adds a bit of bit crushing. So your mod wheel's not going to do anything. We played with some of the organ sounds in the first video, so we'll just move on to the pads. As I said in the previous one, anything ending in AE is by myself, Adrian Earnshaw. Anything ending in TD is by Tim Dale, and everything else that doesn't have a suffix at the end is by Jason. So let's try to take these. I did quite a few orb pads because I do like playing with the orb on a pad because it just creates that movement. So there's no mod wheel going on here. This is just purely the orb, because if I stop the orb, we're going to get a static sound. There's a little bit of movement. But if I turn on the orb, lots of movement. Now we've got another one, Dancing Particle. It does the same thing. If I click on the right one, it does help. And as I say a lot of the times with pads, they don't have to be pads. Just because they're in the pad section, don't treat them as a one-trick pony. Because, as it says here, could be a pad, but it could be a lead. You decide. And I want to do one more from this particular part, is the On the Orb is Sleeping Atoms. Let's break protocol and be a bit radical and go in major. And if I just go to the orb, you can see it moving around. Now, this isn't moving around in random. What I actually did was, you can record your own patterning, and that's what I did, is set that to 4 bars, press the record button, and then just grab and move that around. And I moved it in a certain way to get this swirling feel. But if you want to sort of like really push the bar and experiment, hit that dice button, because what it does is then it automatically maps it to something else. So let's try something else. There we go, dice again. Let's hit it a few times. So it's a slight subtle difference each time we play with the dice. So we'll take Dancing Particle and hit the dice. It alters the sound just ever so slightly. Now let's go for some more pads. Orbital Orange. That's a more digital, I can't even say that then, digital sound. You know, reminiscent of sort of like an microwave or an FM7. Forgot the number from now, can I forget a Yamaha? FM7, DX7. Been a long day. Let's just crack another one on Sinus. What we can do, as we said before, is there's nothing to stop you taking one of these layers and saying, right, staying in the core library, I'll hit my random button again. I want a Prophet 5 Classic with this. Get a slightly different sound. Thick green blanket, all that is. Woodland feedback. No, that gives it like a rumbling undertone. But never sort of like fear to experiment. Synth Poly. Now I want to show you a few things in the Synth Poly section here. We have Atomic Love. I don't know why it's gone and done that, but let's just wang that back up again. Atomic Love. This is like an electric piano type sound. And just because we've got 4 layers to play with doesn't mean you have to use all 4 layers, because you know you get enough from just the 2 layers. And all they've done here, simple modulation, is the wheel is just changing the sample start time and the power filter cutoff. Not this part, but wherever to put it, there we go, on this output. So, the one I want to show you is this little patch that I put together. And see what it says there. It says set your tempo to 111. So we go down here, because I'm in the standalone mode of Omnisphere. If you are in your DAW, set it to 111. Press the ARP and then hold down the F key. And we have a very iconic riff from Tangerine Dream. It's just a little fun Easter egg to throw into this sound library. what else there was something else I was going to show you. This is it, Spatial Rift. Now, this is a patch that I put together using a split mode within sort of one patch. So you can do splits by going to stack and then splitting the keyboard via the... so we still got this in here from last time, so I'll just get rid of that. If I go to layer 3 and just go clear patch, and it's gone. If we go to stack mode, we can sort of like layer sounds and we can split them in the keyboard. But we can actually do that within a patch using something called a bias. So let me just play the patch first. So layers A and C are split to play in the lower half of the keyboard and give us this sound. Now layers B and D play in the upper part of the keyboard above middle C. And my mod wheel gives a ducking effect. And there's a few dotted of these around because we've got we do have a few dotted in here. String theory, no. So it's one of these where read what it says because it's going to tell you. There we are. Elements of Moraine. Knew there was another one. So got digital rain in the left hand. Similar idea to Blade Runner. So if we just go back to what we were looking at before, Spatial Rift, and we'll just look at the the mod matrix section here. It's quite complicated because I've got LFOs playing around with the LFO 5 rate, which is then mapped into the common aux-end. So what's all these effects on the auxiliary here don't play. You don't hear them all the time because it's based on the speed of the LFO opening and closing the wet-dry signal. The bit that we're interested in is this bit here where it says bias 1, bias 2. And these are mapped to our amplitude, which allows us to create that split sound. So it's, like I say, quite complicated to set up, but once you set it up, it's very effective. And you can get quite a lot of mileage then because what we can do is if I go into another one, Elements of Rain, that's what I was looking for. So if I go into Elements of Rain and go CH1, so now I have 4 sounds mapped into just 2 patches, if you get what I mean. So I've got a nice deep pad with a little bit of rain, and in my right hand I can do some nice melody. So the way to play this patch is, although you can go full ducking like that, the idea is just to tickle the mod wheel, so it just brings it on ever so slightly and you get that nice swirling sound. And then back it off. Bring it on, back it off. So if I just clear this multi and then go into 1, I just wanted to play a couple of these soundscapes to close things off. So this is a moving soundscape and it's never quite the same every time it passes. So great again for a nice sort of spot effect. Now this is, I'm holding the mod wheel while I do this, not the mod wheel, the sustain pedal while I do this, so I can use both hands because I want to go over to the orb page. And you can see this moving around. Now if you read the blurb, it says to hit the dice to get something different. So if you see something with a mod with the orb on, hit that dice button for some different type of effects. And then we'll finish off with another patch that I created. I Heard the Universe Breathe. So there we go, Atomica for Omnisphere. Lots of great sounds in this library. You can pick up your copy today by going over to rockymountainsounds.com. There will be a link in the description below. And until the next video, stay creative, stay sonic. See you in the next one.